So, hey there, everyone. And welcome to the University of Chicago's Crown Family School part-time master's program virtual webinar info session. Before I get started, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, thanks.
Great, great, great. Okay. My name is Adam Smith, and I am one of the assistant directors of admissions here at the University of Chicago's Crown Family School of Social Work, Policy, and Practice. Today is all about picturing yourself in graduate school and seeing how the Crown Family School prepares you for the meaningful work, social policy, and social administration. During our time together, we'll provide an overview of the Crown Family School, how the social work program is designed, highlight some key distinctions about the experiences you can expect, and explain how to get started. Then we'll have time at the end for Q&A. Before we get started, I want to introduce a few colleagues from the admissions team and the Crown Family School who will be on hand to answer questions in the chat in real time. So don't hesitate to drop a question along the way. First, I would like to introduce you to the Director of Admissions, Ron Martin.
Hello, everyone.
Also joining us is my colleague, Aaliyah McKessie, who is also an alum of the Masters in Social Work program here at UChicago. And we also have Michael Ray Williams joining us, and he is the field education coordinator for part-time students here at Crown. Um,
Hello.
and we also have Corey Schuler joining us, who is a current student and Crown Family School student ambassador.
Hi, everyone.
All right. Now, let me share a few housekeeping items to help us make the most of our time together. We are recording today's presentation, so you'll be able to review it later if you'd like. If you're comfortable, feel free to turn your camera on. It's always nice to see who's with us. But please keep yourself on mute during the presentation, and then you'll be welcome to unmute during the Q&A portion at the end. Deal? All right, all right. And finally, I want to know a little bit about who's in here. If you're comfortable, drop in the chat where you're joining us from, and if you're currently an undergraduate student working in the field or exploring a career change. This helps me get a sense of who's in the room and tailor what I share to connect with your interests. CA undergrad, say California. All right. We're going to Trinity, higher ed, graduate undergrad from Chicago 2023. All right. Career change, Chicago. Great, great. Undergrad at Columbia, Missouri. I was out there maybe last month. All right, Logan Square. Okay. All right, Chicago, nonprofit, Massachusetts, career change. Great, great, great. Love it. Love it. All right. All right. Okay. So now that we see we have people from all over, I welcome you again here to Crown Family School Part-Time Master's presentation. Okay. Now let's start with what guides our work. I want to start with what anchors everything you'll hear today, our mission and the reputation that flows from it. Our mission at the Crown Family School is simple yet ambitious: to advance a more just and humane society through research, teaching, and service. The commitment has guided us since our founding, and it continues to shape the way we prepare professionals today. For more than a century, the Crown Family School has been at the forefront of defining what rigorous, community-connected social work education looks like. You'll see that balance throughout today's presentation. We combine academic scholarship with practice and individual preparation with support for systemic change. This tradition of leadership is what positions our graduates to influence the future of the profession and the broader social sector. To learn more about the history of social work, what social work is and what social workers do, I encourage you to explore a special UChicago series called The Day Tomorrow Began, Social Work Edition. I will ask my colleague Aaliyah to drop the link in the chat so you can take a look after today's session. All right, thank you. Now, with that foundation in mind, let's look at the distinctions that make the Crown Family School experience exceptional. When students and alumni describe their time at the Crown Family School, they often call it transformative. They point to the academic rigor, the leadership and scholarship of our faculty, and our inclusive and diverse community, along with the chance to engage both locally and globally. They also highlight our interdisciplinary approach and our deep commitment to social change, which are reflected in the classroom, in field placements, programming, and in partnerships. Together, these distinctions shape the design of our master's program and create an environment that challenges you intellectually, supports you personally, and prepares you to make a lasting social impact through your work with individuals, families, communities, and systems. Let's take a closer look at the structure of the program so you can see at a glance what it offers. Our degree is the AM, the RDM Magister. It is equivalent to the MSW, but offers a broader foundation that combines direct practice with policy development and interdisciplinary research. This means you're not limited to one path. You graduate with the flexibility to work directly with individuals and families, to engage with communities and organizations, or to shape systems and policy at a broader level. In the field of social work, it is often described as micro, meso, and macro practice. Micro relates to work with individuals and families, meso connects to groups, schools, and community organizations, and macro relates to systems, policy, and leadership. The AM degree is designed to prepare you across all three levels, so you can make an impact wherever your interests take you. That combination of practice, policy, and research is what makes our program unique. It prepares you not only for the role you want now, but also for the leadership positions you may grow into later in your career. At the Crown Family School, our students bring a wide range of experiences and goals. To reflect that, the AM degree can be pursued in several different formats, each designed to fit your background and timeline. We offer 3 paths into the AM: the 3-year part-time option, the 2-year full-time option, and the accelerated 1-year advanced standing option for BSW graduates. The 3-year part-time option is built for working professionals or those who are seeking a greater level of flexibility in terms of pace and timing. It begins in the autumn quarter, with students taking 2 classes per quarter, either during the day or in the evening, and completing 2 field placements. Some weekend intensives are also available for select classes. These classes would meet on Saturday and Sunday for the full day on 2 separate weekends per quarter. You can also pursue joint degrees with the Booth School of Business, the Divinity School, or the Harris School of Public Policy if you want to pair social work with training through those lenses. The enrollment format you choose depends on your own timeline and background, but each leads to the same degree, the same academic rigor, the same faculty access, and the same community. Choosing a format is about finding the right fit for your life. From there, every student has a chance to personalize the AM degree by focusing on the issues that matter most and aligning the program with their passions. The next step is making the program your own. At the Crown Family School, you do that by choosing a pathway. Your pathway shapes the courses you take, the field placements you pursue, and the issues you explore most deeply. Let's take a look at the 5 pathways you can choose from: children and families in system contexts, disrupting poverty, economic inequality, and social exclusion, global health and social development, integrating health, mental health, and social care, or transforming justice and violence prevention. All right, now, as you look at these options, I'm going to launch a quick poll, and I want you to let me know what pathway feels most connected to your goals right now. Even if you're still exploring, it's helpful to see what's resonating with folks in the room right now. All right. Have some coming in about halfway through. See a lot of integrating health, mental health, and social care. Yep, disrupting poverty. All right. I'll let this go for another 5 seconds or so. All right. So share the results so you all can get an idea for the temperature in the room right now. It looks like integrating health, mental health, and social care is the most popular right now. And children and families, very common. Disrupting poverty, very common as well. Global health, transforming justice. A lot of these do have overlap in them as well. So again, this is very common. Yeah, and I definitely encourage you to explore your curiosity with this. Right. All right. So your pathway guides the focus, and the curriculum provides the framework. That progression becomes even clearer when you look at how the curriculum is structured. So let me walk you through it using a part-time student as an example. The AM curriculum is designed to give you both breadth and depth. On the map, you'll notice the first year emphasizes core courses. There are 9 in total, covering social intervention, human behavior, diversity, and research. These courses ground you in the theories and frameworks of the profession. In the second and third year, your focus shifts to advanced practice and electives. Every student takes one integrated pathway course and at least 2 pathway electives, along with additional electives that allow you to specialize even further. This is where you deepen your expertise in the area that matters most to you, whether that is in health, mental health, justice reform, poverty and inequality, children and families, or global development. Field education is also central, running across all 3 years. What you learn in class shows up in practice, and what you experience in practice enriches the classroom. That integration is intentional, and it's one of the reasons our graduates feel confident and prepared for the next step. The strength of the curriculum comes not only from its design, but from the faculty you'll be learning from every day. One of the things students talk about most is the opportunity to work closely with faculty who not only bring cutting-edge research into the classroom, but are also deeply invested in their students' growth and success. Let's take a closer look at who faculty are and the distinctive perspectives they bring to the classroom. Our faculty are leaders and scholars across social work and related disciplines. They are trained in social work, psychology, sociology, political science, public health, even economics. They bring insights from their research into the classroom and encourage critical inquiry. At the Crown Family School, our approach is interdisciplinary and intellectually pluralistic, supported by the University of Chicago's Foundation of Free Expression and Open Discourse. Students often say mentorship and freedom of inquiry are defining parts of their experience here. You will learn directly from scholars who are advocating in the field. The classroom is only one part of your experience here. Learning also extends into the field and is strengthened is strengthened through the wide range of support services available to you. Some of the most meaningful growth happens outside the classroom. Field education places you in real-world settings where you put theory into action, while wraparound support ensures you have the guidance and resources to thrive. Together, these experiences expand your learning and prepare you for the challenges of professional practice. Let's take a closer look at how field education and student support shape your journey here. Field education is an essential part of your experience at the Crown Family School. Each year, more than 400 students are placed across 900 agencies, contributing to over 225,000 hours of real-world training. These placements span hospitals, schools, nonprofits, government agencies, and community-based organizations, all aligned with your pathway and career goals. In your first year placement, the core or foundational placement of our field education team secures the site for you. Before you begin, you'll complete a detailed survey about your goals, interests, location, and logistics, and then the team works carefully to match you with an agency. These placements often focus on direct practice and all students complete a macro project to connect classroom learning with the work at the micro, meso, and macro levels. In your second and third year placement, the advanced placement, you take a more active role. You'll have the access and opportunity to explore options in our field database of over 900 field placement sites. You apply to the field placement destination you are interested in with a resume and cover letter, an interview, and you go directly to the field agencies yourself. This allows you to target your interest, whether that's counseling, policy analysis, programming, or community-based leadership. But again, you still will have the support of our field education team the entire way. If you like to call out the photos on our screen, I'd like to call out the photos on our screen right now. These are from the Field Expo hosted by the field education team back in January. We had 75 local and area agencies and organizations here in the Crown Family School building to network with our first year students and provide them with an opportunity to make connections for our second year field placement. I now want to turn your attention to the Crown Family School Field Education Coordinator for the part-time program, Michael Ray Williams. Michael is also an alum of the Master's in Social Work as well as the college. He completed his master's work as a part-time student as well. Michael, do you mind chiming in for a sec?
Sure, Adam, happy to. Thank you for that warm introduction. Hi, folks. So happy to be here to share a little bit about the field placement experience at Crown. As Adam was saying, just depending on your choice of pathway and level of practice, we have a variety of agency partners across the city, state, and beyond, working with our students to provide real-world experience where they're able to directly apply what's happening in the classroom with work that's happening live in the field across the country. And so, yeah, we have over 900 active field agency partners, and that is for core first year students or advanced students in their second and third year in the part-time program, as well as across levels of practice, micro, meso, and macro, and throughout all 5 of the pathways, as well as including certificate programs offered at Crown, the School Social Work Professional Educators License Certificate Program, the KIPP Global Studies Certificate Program, and the Alcohol and Other Drugs Certificate Programs.
Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. So while field education is central to your professional growth, we know that thriving in graduate school requires more than placements and coursework. That's why the Crown Family School offers extensive student services to support you academically, professionally, and personally. You'll find a wide range of services designed to support every part of your graduate journey. Academic advising is available through one-on-one sessions, group meetings, and drop-in hours to help you navigate your coursework and stay on track. You'll also have access to career coaching, leadership development programs, health and wellness resources, and an active community of student organizations that bring students together around shared interests and identities. The Crown Family School is also one of only 12 social work graduate school programs in the country with these levels of resources designed specifically for the social work graduate student. Another defining feature of student life here is the number of events you can participate in. Each year, our school hosts hundreds of workshops, panels, and lectures with national speakers on topics that span across everything from mental health and social work practice to leadership, equity, and global issues. All of these supports combine to create an environment where you can thrive academically, build meaningful connections, and develop as both a professional and a leader. And beyond services on campus, there are exceptional opportunities that take your learning even further into the world. Chicago is more than the backdrop for your studies. It is part of your education. Our Hyde Park campus is located in one of the city's most vibrant and eclectic neighborhoods. Here you'll find tree-lined streets, historic architecture, abundant parks, and the lakefront just a short walk away. Hyde Park is home to world-class museums, independent bookstores, cafes, and cultural festivals that reflect its progressive and multicultural spirit. Living and learning here means you are surrounded by a neighborhood full of energy and diversity, while also being deeply connected to the broader city of Chicago and all it has to offer. Okay, I have another quick poll question for everyone. What is everyone's favorite part about Chicago or something you're excited to experience here? I'm going to launch a poll and I want you to let me know which of the following choices you're looking forward to the most. All right. So food and neighborhoods, architecture. Hyde Park is one of my favorite neighborhoods. I'm from Chicago, and I could be biased. I'm from the South Side of Chicago, but Hyde Park, one of my favorite neighborhoods. Food, best food in the world. We have so many different food choices to choose from. Architecture, absolutely. All right. I'll let this go for another few seconds. All right. Okay, let me share these results. The food, yes, you are in for a treat. Chicago has amazing food, amazing neighborhoods, architecture, museums and theater, public transit, amazing. Nobody's really into sports teams. I know the Bears upset me this year, but neither here nor there. Festivals, amazing. Chicago winters, never looking forward to those, but builds character. Yep, attractions, Lake Michigan. Yep, all of the things, all of the things. All right. So thank you for participating there. All right. So along with everything Chicago offers, there are also opportunities that take your learning beyond the city, across the country, again, around the world. Your education goes far beyond the classroom. You'll have opportunities like Advocacy Day, where students travel to the state capitol to meet with legislators, and Civic Treks, where you connect directly with community leaders across Chicago. For example, students have met with leaders of local organizations on the south and west sides of Chicago that provide young men of color with support for degree completion and job placement opportunities. With these treks, you really get to see all levels of social work working together in real time, the micro, meso, and the macro. Another unique opportunity offered here at Crown is Washington Week, which offers direct exposure to policymakers, alumni, and national organizations for a week in Washington, D.C. Global opportunities such as Winter Institute in Hong Kong and Vietnam, or studying it in India, allow you to compare approaches to poverty, inequality, and social welfare in different contexts. Signature programs include the Kiphart Scholars Program in Global Health and Social Development and the Obama Foundation Scholars Program, which bring together students across the University of Chicago who are committed to advancing social change. These experiences help you apply classroom learning and practice, deepen your perspective, and build lifelong networks. Now you've seen what makes the Crown Family School an incredible place to study. Now, let's go ahead and shift to the practical details that will help you take the next step towards graduate school. In this final part of the session, I will walk you through costs, scholarships, application timelines, and what's required to apply. These are the pieces that bring everything we've talked about today into focus and help you start planning your path forward. Let's begin with the cost of attendance. Graduate education is a major investment, and it's important to understand what that looks like at the Crown Family School. On the screen, you'll see tuition, fees, and estimated living expenses for a year of study. The tuition amounts vary by enrollment option, and the right-hand column lists additional costs, including room and board, books, and commuting to field placements. These costs reflect the rigor, reputation, and opportunities we talked about earlier, and they represent the value of joining the program that prepares you for impact across the field. We share this breakdown to be transparent about the full cost of attendance and to help you start planning. Keep in mind that nearly all of our students receive scholarships towards tuition. Now, let's take a closer look at scholarships and how they make this level of education accessible for nearly all of our students. 98% of our master's students receive scholarships towards tuition, and awards ranging from $10,000 to full tuition at some times. All applicants are automatically considered, and nearly all scholarships are renewed for the second year. There's no separate application, and the third year. There's no separate application, and your award is shared with your admissions decision. If, after receiving your scholarship, you believe you still have a compelling financial gap, you can request a reconsideration. I'm going to repeat that because I want to make sure everyone heard me clearly. If, after receiving your scholarship, you believe you have a compelling financial gap, you can request a reconsideration. Okay? For U.S. citizens and permanent residents, we also encourage you to complete the FAFSA, which is open now, to explore federal aid options. The Crown Family School FAFSA code is 001774. Scholarships play an important role in making graduate study possible, but it's equally important to plan ahead with confidence as you think about financing your education. Planning ahead is key, being mindful that our final application deadline is April 1st. Give yourself as much time as possible to make decisions and prepare for the transition to grad school. Again, the application deadline for the 2026 enrollment cycle is on April 1st, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So you have over a month to submit your application if you want to be considered for the upcoming autumn term that begins on September 28th. We have also waived the application fee this year too. Now, let's take a deep dive into what goes into a strong application and what you'll need to submit. Once you complete your application form, there are just 4 supplemental items you'll need to submit. First, academic transcripts. We require transcripts from every post-secondary institution where you've completed 3 or more courses, unless those courses with grades already appear on your home institution transcript. If your education was outside the U.S., you'll need a course-by-course credential evaluation so your records can be accurately reviewed. Second, the candidate statement. This is your opportunity to show us and help us get to know you. In 3 to 4 pages, you'll share what inspires you to pursue a degree at the Crown Family School, the kind of work you hope to do, and how our program will help you reach those goals. We also ask you to reflect on your values and how they connect with our mission. A strong statement responds directly to the prompts, and it's always helpful to get feedback before submitting. Third, letters of recommendation. We require at least 3, but no more than 4 accepted. At least 2 should address your academic readiness, and if you're currently or have recently been employed, one should come from your supervisor. Advanced standing applicants will also need a reference from a field instructor or practice supervisor, but the strongest letters highlight your academic preparedness, professional performance, and critical thinking skills. And fourth, your resume or CV. This should be comprehensive, highlighting your academic background, professional experience, volunteer work, and leadership activities. Think of it as a way to showcase your journey and the impact you hope to make through your training here. Another thing, along with not having an application fee this year, we also do not require interviews, the GRE, or any other standardized forms, with the exception of TOEFL or IELTS, which may be required for international students. Our process is holistic, which means we consider your academic preparedness, professional experience, goals, and most importantly, how your long-term plans align with the mission and values of the Crown Family School. These are the key pieces to think about as you prepare your application. Now that you know what's required, let's discuss a few practical tips to help you find and put together a strong application. Okay, so the tips I'm about to share come directly from our admissions committee. Every year, we see a pattern in the strongest applications, and these insights can help you put your best foot forward. First, start your candidate statement and give yourself time and grace to revise and refine your application and supplemental materials. Second, be specific. Use your statement and resume to show concrete examples of leadership and impact, especially where your work connects with the Crown Family School's mission. Third, if you have not already done so, reach out to potential recommenders now. Letters of recommendation can take time, and it helps if your recommender understands your goals. Always have a backup in mind in case someone is delayed. You can also submit your application without having received your 3 letters of recommendation. As long as you have transcripts uploaded, your candidate statement, resume, and enter the names and email addresses of your recommenders, You can submit your application and it will be reviewed once we receive the final letter of recommendation. And finally, proofread carefully. It sounds simple, but every year someone sends in an application with errors or worse, with the name of another school. Attention to detail makes difference. These 4 steps can help you submit a strong, confident application. Before we close, I want to make sure you know how to reach us with any questions. Our admissions team is here to support you, and you see all our names, faces, and our contact information here. Whether you're deciding which enrollment option fits best, hoping to tour campus, or looking to connect with an alum or a current student, we're just an email or phone call away. We're happy to answer your questions and help you think through your next steps. Before we move to Q&A, we have one final poll for you, and we're curious, where are you in the process? Have you already started your application, submitted it, or are you still deciding? Let us know. All right, great. All right, looks like that's everyone. We have some researchers. We have a few that have started the application and a couple that have submitted. That is wonderful. All right. Okay. Okay, so thank you again for joining us. I hope this session has given you a clear picture of who we are and what makes this Crown Family School a leader in social work, policy, social policy, and social administration. And with that being said, let's open the floor to your questions. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Hello. My question, and I may have missed this if you did go over it, but for the part-time program, how would the field placement work? Since there's of course a certain number of hours. I know in the full-time program, it pretty much is your job at that point once you get into that part of the program, right? So in the part-time program, what can someone anticipate or expect as far as field placement requirements?
I like how you asked that question, and I think there's no better person to answer that right now than Michael. Would you mind giving a little bit of a idea of what to for Michelle to expect?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. And so every student, full-time and part-time, they do 2 field placements, as Adam explained earlier. Part-time students typically complete 8 hours per week at their field placement site. And it's continuous throughout their time at Crown with the core starting fall quarter of your first year, going all the way through to including the summer, to the start of your second year, where then you would transition into your advanced field placement, where again, you would be completing 8 hours per week at that placement your entire second year, the summer in between your second and third year, and then your entire third year until graduation. The minimum hour requirements for core first year field placements for the part-time program is 368, which you do the math, right? Including taking out the fall break and winter break and spring break, right? You'll reach easily the vast majority of our part-time students reach that number by August, prior to the start of the advanced field placement in October of their second year. And same thing with the advanced field placement. The hours total required is 572 total between the start of your second year in the program through graduation. Again, at that same pace of 8 hours per week. And again, just like the full-time program, I have a wide variety of agency partners that work with part-time students across levels of practice and treatment settings and populations. And so if you have any specific questions about your individual journey, if you're interested in, let's say, a particular certificate program, for example, I really encourage folks to reach out to me directly, schedule a one-on-one meeting, a phone call, or a Zoom meeting, whatever you're comfortable with, at your convenience to talk about your journey, through the program and your trajectory, if you choose a particular program. And for students that are already working at a nonprofit, they can utilize that job, that full-time job, as their field placement host by applying for an employment-based field placement. And so if folks are interested in that particular way to navigate the field placement experience of the program, please reach out directly and I can talk to you about the application and the process for approval. And so, yeah, we have a lot of different methods, a lot of different ways we've seen students navigate the program, myself included as a former, as an alum and a former part-time student at SSA now.
Thank you for answering that. Now, did you also answer the question from Trent Rogers on purpose, or was that and the question is
I did not. I did not.
Okay.
I was just sharing my thoughts, and so I'm glad. Yeah, we're all in the same mind frame.
So let me ask it again, just in case you missed any part of it. And the question was, additionally, can your job be considered a field placement depending on the role? And is it as period, full stop, yes?
Yes, and the key part of that sentence, of course, is the depending on the role. The task associated with your job for those hours to count as your field placement hours need to align with the CSWE, the Council on Social Work Education's competencies for any and all field placements at an accredited program, which Crown is.
Super helpful. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Are there any other questions? Anyone want to hop off mute to ask? And again, we are all available to support you even after this time. But
There's
while we
there's a question. I answered it in the chat, but it was when can we expect to start the field placement process? And so that typically happens in April or May. After an admitted student has accepted their offer, they'll receive the email to prompt them to complete the field application, field placement application. So you'll have to you would create your university ID, your CNET ID, Chicago Network ID, and then log in. And there's a lot of different types of questions in that field application asking you what you want to do, what you don't want to do, if you know where you'll be living, will you have access to public transportation. So there's a lot of thought that really goes into the placement process. And of course, everything is always contingent every year on which sites have availability. So that's always sort of like the caveat that we like to express as well. So the field education team works very diligently over the course of the summer, and typically the placements are then decided and announced or finalized and then announced to the students going into orientation. So that would be usually typically in September. So not hearing anything over the course of the summer is typical, and we will send lots of emails over the course of the summer to help prepare admitted students for registration, for field placement, for orientation, with a lot of like reminders that we're on the quarter system. Things happen a little later. We start later. And so things are typically announced starting like more towards like August and September. Michael, anything you want to add to that?
No, that was perfect, Ron. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm available over that interim from the time you submit your field placement application till you hear from us about a match. And so we encourage admitted students to reach out with any questions, thoughts, feelings, concerns about the field placement application and matching process.
Okay. Here's a question. Can you talk about when classes are during the day versus evening and how part-time students tend to build their schedule around work and field placement? So I can answer this first part. Classes, our classes are offered in 3 blocks. There's a morning block at 9:30. There's an afternoon block, excuse me, at 2, and then there's an evening block. It's is at 5:30 it starts. Yeah,
Yep.
5:30. Typically, part-time students are taking classes in that evening block. So core classes like the 300, 301, the Hub C class, those will be available in the evening hours. So part-time students can absolutely complete all their required courses during the evening. There are options though, if it does fit into your schedule, you are available to take courses during those daytime blocks. There could be some electives that might be available that you want to take. That could be down to the daytime hours or those two daytime blocks. So while the program is designed for you to be able to complete all your required courses, you do have the option of taking the daytime courses as well. Michael, do you want to talk a little bit about that second part about building the schedule around work and field?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ron. And yeah, the way I've seen students navigate the program, the field placement piece of the program, have been as different as folks' different interest in social work and social work practice. And so I've seen students do that typical 8 hours per week as a one day. Per week that works for their field agency partner, and so working with their full-time job to adjust schedule for that, or 2 4-hour days. And I even had a student 2 years ago complete 5 2-hour days at their field placement. Probably the most unique schedule that I've seen. But due to the nature of the work, it was policy based. Advanced field placement, right? It really worked with the agency schedule and the students' needs. And so, yeah, just depending on your particular situation, interest, as was noted earlier, availability for particular field placements, yeah, your schedule will be unique to you. And so, yeah, we really see, like I said, a wide variety of approaches to this field placement. And for employment-based field placements, yeah, just depending on the overlap between the task and the CSWE social work competencies, right? There could be some alignment there with your already, set work schedule and your field placement schedule.
Thank you for that. All right. Are there any other questions that I missed in the chat or that anyone would like to ask verbally?
I have a quick question about the scholarship opportunities.
Go for it.
Do they consider whether you're a full-time or part-time student? Like do full-time students have more opportunities or more options for scholarships, or is it just based on, our individual applications and needs, or,
Great question. Great question. Whether you are full-time or part-time will not determine the amount or will not change the amount that you are offered in scholarship. So that would not have any weight on the scholarship, on your scholarship offer. Equal weight.
Thank you.
Sure. Great questions. All right. Is there anything anyone else would like to ask while we're all here together?
Hi, I have a quick question about the candidate statement. So, in terms of, I have a few different interests of what I'd like to do after graduate school. And so, in terms of when I'm applying and talking about that, is it typical that people will list like a few different things they're interested in? Do most people have like one general area that they know that they want to work in before they apply? And then in terms of the question about values, so I went on your website and I saw like the values in your missions. So are you asking us to pick like a couple of those and then just to talk about how our own values align with those values? Thanks.
Great question. I'll answer the second question first. We want you to reflect. So we do want you to understand our mission, our values, and there are 6 key principles. And if you were to speak to and think of any of them, if any of them just speak to your values or anything that aligns with your vision for an institution that you would like to attend, then allow that to shape part of your candidate statement. Now, I don't expect you to create a entire candidate statement speaking on our website just to give us, just to let us know that you're aware of these things. But speaking to, and thank you, Ron. Looking at the mission and values in our on our website just kind of gives you an idea of this is the environment that you're going to be in, and is this do these values of social justice and intellectual pluralism, are these things that are of interest to you and align with your core values as well? Now, for the first question about well, did that answer your question, or did I miss what you were asking?
Yeah,
Well,
that's good. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to raise my hand. I was trying to put a thumbs up.
oh, okay. No, no worries. Okay. And speaking to the first part of your candidate statement, it's good to have a lot of interest. Many students do have a laser focus on what they want. Many students are very open because these five pathways have a lot of overlap in them. A lot of students will start with one interest and end up choosing a different pathway. One of the benefits is you don't have to choose a pathway immediately when you start. You have time to meet with your academic advisors. You have time to connect with faculty and just get an idea for, all right, this might be the pathway that I want to take. You're going to take 3 classes in your pathway in total. And again, you're not taking classes in your pathway until later into the program. So you will have time to get an idea and connect with other professionals in the field to let them know like what your interests are and how those align with what your future looks like. We also have a career and leadership development team as well. So having all of these important conversations with everyone at the DOS office, the Dean of Students office, is really going to be a big help to really shape the program and make sure you're getting out of the program what you're looking for looking for as well. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. And then also in terms of before we get accepted, the access to the career counselors, do we have access to talk to them in terms of filling out our application, or is that just for current students?
So support with completing your application.
Yeah, support with filling out the application and getting advice on how to write it and things like that in terms of career-wise and putting that into the statement.
Sure, that would be us. That would be us for myself, Aaliyah, Ron. I'm going to also, if someone wouldn't mind dropping the bookings link in the chat, and I encourage you to schedule a chat with one of us from the admissions team because we're going to support you through the application process. And once you are a student at the Crown Family School, we can schedule a time for you to connect with our career and leadership development team to, really go more into what that's going to look like in in your career trajectory and in the future. Sasha, have we chatted already? What?
Yeah, we've talked a few times.
Okay.
I'm starting to write the application now, so I have more questions about the actual application. So maybe I'll set up another time for us to talk more about it.
Okay, send me an email, and I'm also going to send you a link to our writing a strong candidate statement or submitting a strong application. And essentially, in that webinar we did previously, it speaks to it also provides like a rubric for what and how your application and candidate statement will be reviewed and evaluated. So I'll share that with you also, so um, you have that to use too. Okay,
That's good. Thank you.
sure.
Ron did put that in the chat, so everyone has access to it as well if you scroll back.
Oh, great, great. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. Thank you.
Here's a financial question. How detailed do we need to be when outlining our plans for funding in our application? There's a lot of variation with what information any individual applicant has at any given time. So the detail you might have in February could be very different from the detail that you might have, in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, right? So do it to the best of your ability. So if you don't have to fill out every answer. You don't have to have every field filled out. Just, share to the best of your ability what you have. So you definitely don't have to account for every last dollar. It's just kind of general. It helps us collect. We don't actually, so the review committee does not see your financial information. The information shared really kind of helps us in the admissions team kind of understand where our applicants are coming from. And we use it not to inform like any admission decision at all, or, a decision one way or the other. It's really about sort of like helping us understand the financial kind of standing or status or planning of our applicants, and we usually reflect upon that later during the summer. So whatever you share in this, just be assured like it's not going to be used in the actual application review, and like I say, the review committee that won't even see that information.
Thank you. All right. What other questions can we answer? All right. And as mentioned before, you can reach out to us at any time. We're happy to connect. We'll be happy to support you throughout the process. Anything we can do, please feel free to let us know. Any questions you have, we'll be happy to find the answer for you if we don't have it already. Thank you again for joining us this evening, and I will hang around a little bit just in case anyone has any last minute questions. But if not, thank you again for joining us, and we hope to see you at the Crown Family School soon.